Welcome to Shouting Over Static, a video game show and tell podcast. Oh man, I fucked. Welcome to Shouting Over Static, a video game show and tell podcast. There we go. I am your host for the week, Mark. I am sitting here crouched on my living room floor with...
Sure.
Hi, Sure, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
And then coming to us over the internet is Jack.
Hello, how's it going?
It's going okay. This floor's relatively comfortable. We've got a nice rug.
Do you know what does happen today? Completely unrelated to video games.
Okay.
Related, like sort of semi-related to you, Mark. 12 o'clock in the championship, Norwich versus Ipswich.
Ooh, that's all right.
That's the way I live.
Where I used to live.
So yeah, that's happening at 12 o'clock today.
Who's the favourite to win? I'm assuming not Ipswich.
I don't know. I think I think for the first time in a lot of years, it's going to be actually kind of close. Because they're both sort of like mid-table sides that are doing okay at the moment. But anyway, we're not here to talk about football.
Where's the game?
I think it's at Carrow Road, I think.
Okay, that's Norwich, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, cool, okay.
I don't know a lot about football.
The Ipswich and Norwich derby is a good one. People get really rowdy for it. They have to get the police out. It's good fun. Oh, mate, this audio is so terrible.
It's fine. We'll live. It'll be okay. I believe.
Yeah, we'll work something out. So the point of this show is each week someone brings in a game and we talk about that game for some time. Now, we don't have very much time today, and this audio is going to be shit, so let's try and not suffer people with that. But it's Shaw's week this week.
Yes, it is.
So what do you bring, Shaw? I saw you on Wikipedia just a second ago.
Oh no!
Finding out some little facts about it. I don't know what you had searched, but I definitely saw you doing some last minute research.
Yeah, I was doing some last minute research on Pokemon Gold and Silver.
Okay. Second gen Pokemon.
I want to talk about that. Yeah, I don't have a lot to talk about, I guess.
That works.
Some things. Yeah. Well, the reason I wanted to talk about this game was it's the big two with introducing people into the Pokemon world, and I think all of us have had played it in the past.
Yeah,
I like Gen 2. Gen 2's got some good shit going on.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, even if we haven't played Silver or Gold, we've played some Pokemons at some points in our life, right?
I think that's a bit of an understatement.
Right. Okay.
I've played quite a lot.
All right.
You're currently still playing the most recent one, aren't you?
I haven't got the what was it? What's it like? Omega? No, I've got Omega Ruby and Omega Sapphire. Oh, I got Omega Ruby. I can't remember what the other one that they recently released was.
Do you have Sun and Moon, or Sun or Moon, or one of the two?
I have Sun. And I think, what was it that they released? Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I haven't got them yet because to be fair, I mean, I haven't touched my DS in a long time, but like going back, if you're talking about like Gold and Silver and all of like the old school games, yeah, those are good.
Yeah, I am. I'm a big fan of those old school ones. I think the last Pokemon I played with any sort of regularity was a couple of years ago when Pokemon Go came out.
Yeah,
I played a bit of Pokemon Go and then realised that it was enjoyable but had no depth whatsoever, and so I downloaded a Game Boy emulator on my phone and played like 40 hours of rest on the bus to and from work.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I only got like halfway through as well, but it was alright. Yeah, that's probably the most recent Pokemon I've really, really got involved in. I played it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think everybody goes back to Pokemon Red a couple of times in their lives.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or Blue, I don't know, maybe you're one of those people.
Never. No. Heard of Red. Not.
What about Yellow? You're a Yellow fan, aren't you, Jack?
Yeah, Yellow's alright. Yellow really struck a chord with me just because you had Pikachu following you around, and you could also just get all of the free starter Pokemon just were given to you throughout the game. And you're like, okay, I can just have Pikachu and Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur.
You're spoiled.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I played some Emerald or Sapphire, one of those.
Emerald was really good.
What kind of gen is it?
Gen 3.
Gen 3, yeah.
Okay.
It was red, blue, and then yellow, gold, silver, and then crystal, emerald, ruby, sapphire, and then emerald.
And then emerald, yeah.
And then, what was it, diamond and pearl?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. It was diamond, pearl, platinum, and then...
Yeah, I think I played a fair bit of diamond.
Yeah, diamond was good.
It's, well, the big question is, why does it do so well at retaining like the customer base? Or why it's kind of the same with every iteration, with it's only a little bit different, right? With each iteration.
Yeah, just like 50 new Pokemon, maybe like a new mechanic.
Yeah.
And they all do so well.
Is it because they're so rad that they just always get new customers? Because I don't know if they... I haven't bought a new Pokemon since Diamond. That was Gen 4, and they're on like Gen 7 now.
Yeah.
However, I'm guessing that there are people who have not played those previous ones who are buying the new ones.
Yeah, I guess so.
So do you reckon maybe it's just really good at catching new customers? It's just it really nails the 12-year-olds with the SS market.
Yeah, for sure. I think as well, the fact that it is such a sort of staple of what Nintendo has become, like along with Zelda, along with Mario, along with all of those sort of other things that sort of typify what Nintendo is. Pokemon is very much one of the mainstays of Nintendo's gaming sort of just the whole of their gaming environment is centered around Pokemon, or at least quite a large majority of what they focus on is Pokemon related.
Yeah, it's definitely one of their big franchises, isn't it?
Yeah. Aside from Mario.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Pokemon.
Yeah, they've got like Mario and Zelda, and then they've got... But then, because Pokemon is made by the Pokemon Company, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they are like a subsidiary of Nintendo or something.
Because what is it?
It's like a slightly different thing.
It's Game Freak are the developers, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Game Freak are the developers.
I'm not sure if they're like a subsidiary of Nintendo in themselves, or if they're like their own independent thing. But I'm pretty sure that they've worked on all of the Pokemon games so far.
Yeah, I think they're their own thing as well, because every now and then they put out like an Xbox game.
Yeah.
Or like weird... I know a couple of years ago they put out like some weird game about like a magic elephant. Like they do... Yeah, every now and then they just put out their own thing.
Ever since they started making Pokemon, they've just made Pokemon. Before that, apparently they made Yoshi.
A Yoshi
Mario
game?
and Wario on Nintendo SNES. And so on. Pocket Monsters? Is that a thing that you guys have remembered?
Pocket Monsters is Pokemon.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, Pocket Monsters is the original Japanese title for Pokemon.
Yeah, man.
Okay. See, this is the research I should have been doing. Just before this episode.
Yeah, so the Pokemon Company is the company that's responsible for marketing and licensing the Pokemon franchise, and it's a joint investment by Nintendo and Game Freak, and they're the ones who are like responsible for all the fucking animes and shit.
Oh, okay.
I do love animes.
Is that still running, the anime show?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah?
Yeah, so much anime. I think Ash is still like a 12-year-old boy in it as well.
It's still voiced by the same woman, isn't it?
Hell yeah. I found out, so slightly unrelated, I found out the other day that the woman who voices Goku in Dragon Ball has been the same woman voicing Goku since Dragon Ball, the first Dragon Ball came out in like 1980 in Japan. And it's this like 85-year-old Japanese woman who spent the last 30 years of her life doing the Goku voice.
So, wait, both the male characters are voiced by a woman?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of, like, it's like how Bart Simpson is voiced by Nancy Cartwright.
Yeah, okay. I see. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And like, some girls are voiced by like really young guys, young kids,
Maybe.
young boys. Maybe.
Stop talking about young boys, Joe.
All right.
I don't like sitting on the floor staring into your eyes as you talk to me about young boys. I don't know. So you picked Gen 2 as sort of what's the significance of Gen 2 to you?
I think Pokemon's probably the first game I got on my Game Boy Advance. I had a little orange Game Boy Advance, and I had to have Pokemon because my cousins were having the same games. So I had it, and I had a good time. That was all I played because that was the only game I had.
Yeah, that checks out. That checks out. I think when I first got my DS, they didn't. The DS Pokemon hadn't come out yet, but I hadn't played Gen 3, so I got Emerald, the Game Boy Advance one, and played that on my DS because I had to play some Pokemons, man.
Yeah, man. Like again, it's like one of those things. It's like I remember going into high school and like loving Pokemon and feeling like I wanted to bring in my like DS to sit down and play Pokemon, but I was like, I'm gonna like stick out like a sore thumb. I'm gonna be like such a nerdy guy in the corner, like going away playing Pokemon. And I think it must have been like a week in or so. I walked into the library and there was just like a bunch of kids just sat down on their DSs playing Pokemon. And I was like, oh man, this is awesome.
This is the dream.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think I remember a similar kind of thing happened at my school, actually. There was just this weird moment where Pokemon came back and suddenly everyone was just playing Pokemon for a bit.
It's a good time.
Yeah, Pokemon's pretty good. How's that most recent one, Jack?
So I've
heard it's a pretty big departure from like
the
way Pokemon work.
With what is it with Sun and Moon? It's alright. Yeah, I'm trying to remember now. Sun and Moon. They sort of veer away from the whole gym sort of system with it, and you have like different islands, and each island has, I think they're called kahunas. Each island has like a little boss that you have to sort of beat in order to progress further. I think the Elite Four and stuff is all still the same from what I remember. But yeah, they don't have any gyms or anything anymore, which I don't know. I feel like that's been. It was a bit of a risk for them to do that because that's been such a it's been such a staple of every Pokemon game since then that's been released on the handheld consoles. So for them to do that, I think it was good. I mean, it was a bit of a refreshing experience to say the least. But yeah, I mean, like I say, I haven't really sat down and played Pokemon in a long time, but. Yeah, from what I remember, it was a pretty decent game.
Sweet. Oh. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, that's good.
I mean, I was just going to ask you guys, like, did you guys ever play the Mystery Dungeon games that they brought out as well?
No, I never played Mystery Dungeon.
Because I thought that they were actually, like, sort of, in a way, that they were their own sort of separate game away from what you would consider to be a normal Pokemon game, and I found them sort of again quite refreshing, like a new take on what Pokemon could be about. Because like the whole sort of thing about like playing one of the first ones, which is like Blue Rescue Team, I think it is one of the ones that I played very early on. You start off
about right. Yeah,
you start off and you like sort of you're having a dream, and then you sort of I think you're on a beach somewhere and you get washed up on the shore, and then you wake up and find that you're a Pokemon. Which I know
really?
It makes completely no sense. I'm trying to remember how like the start of that game goes. I'm pretty sure that like you are a human and then you somehow get transformed into a Pokemon, and then your whole game is to try and go from being a Pokemon back to being a human.
Okay, I didn't know that's what those games were about, and now that sounds way cooler.
But like, I mean, like they touch on it very minimally in like the gameplay itself, but. Yeah, I mean, walking around doing quests in dungeons, like at the start of the game, you get like a little sort of, I think it's like a 10-question survey where they'll ask you different questions, and based on what you answer, it determines what Pokemon you are. And I remember for a long time, I think in one of the most recent ones, I think the rarest starter Pokemon that you could be was a Munchlax. And I remember several times doing the survey, and then as soon as I found out that I wasn't a Munchlax, I would turn off my DS, turn it back on, and then do the survey again and try and nail the answers.
Oh, mate, Munchlax is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
man.
I took one of those Facebook "What Pokemon are you?" quizzes.
Yeah.
And I got Snorlax on my first try. So I felt pretty good about that. Snorlax is my boy.
Nice.
I should do one.
Oh, mate, I did not realise that you played as a Pokemon in those games.
Yeah. It's like I remember fucking what was that game that they brought out? The Pokemon Ranger as well.
Yeah, there was a moment there on like the DS and Game Boy Advance where they were putting out some pretty wild Pokemon games. Like these days, all they seem to put out is just Pokemon games.
Yeah.
But
On a DS.
Yeah,
Right.
and then like on the 64, there was Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, man.
Pokemon, was it? What was the fighting game? Pokemon Tournament.
Pokemon Tournament, yeah.
Oh, that was the recent.
Oh, they had
thinking of
Pokemon
Pokemon
Colosseum
Stadium.
on GameCube.
Yeah, there was Pokemon Colosseum. There are some weird Pokemon games out there.
Yeah,
With the game where you play as the Pokemon, how does the game work?
So you have like sort of
It's a first-person shooter.
that would be awesome. I'm not gonna lie, but like they have like a sort of your little home base, where you've got like your store and whatever, so you can go and buy supplies for like your health and stuff, and then you can go out on expeditions to different dungeons, and essentially like you'll get given your main quest and you get given the side quest, which will be like, oh, I don't know, like a mother Pokemon has lost their child at the bottom of a dungeon. It's located on this floor. Can you go and find it? And then so you go out with your like squad of Pokemon. So you normally take a partner with you, and then whilst you're in the dungeon, you can. But when you're attacking other Pokemon, if they sort of give up and they'll be like, actually, can I join your team and we can go and conquest this dungeon together, and I'll join like your whole sort of rescue team, and they're like, yeah, okay, come along. And then you just go to find the missing Pokemon and then have to escape from the dungeon. And yeah, so it's alright.
Yeah, mate, this Wikipedia article describes it as like a Pokemon roguelike, and I'm into that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you and Dylan are really into roguelikes.
Roguelikes are hot shit, man.
Yeah, no, I like that game quite a bit. I mean, again, like, what are your guys' thoughts for Pokemon's future on the Switch? Because I know they've been teasing about it for some time now.
God, what if it's really, really, really good?
I mean, that's a dream, right? Like, you want it to just smash it out of the park in more ways than one, and it would just be awesome.
But there hasn't been Pokemon on the Switch, has
No.
Announced they're making one.
Oh,
That's
right.
it. They just put like at last E3. There was just like a 15-second video from like one of the producers saying, "We're making one for the Switch."
Yeah. I mean, it would be rude not to be fair.
It'd be rude.
It would be rude as hell.
Like, I mean, if you're going to have your, you're going to have this game or this console that is sort of, you can play it on your screen or you can have it handheld, and Pokemon's been such a mainstay in their handheld consoles, and also, again, we've talked about it earlier, you got Zelda, Mario, and of course, like, Pokemon as being, like, up there as their sort of top 3 franchises for Nintendo. You have to.
Yeah, it'd be a mistake not to. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, dude. So, like, I guess this will be the first time they've made a traditional Pokemon game for what is effectively a home console, even though it is portable.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't a traditional Pokemon game on, like, the GameCube,
No.
And there wasn't one on, like, the Wii. There wasn't one on the 64. So, like, what? Do you think it's just going to be like Pokemon Gold and Silver, like Sun and Moon, but bigger and, like, prettier? Or do you reckon they're going to take some influences from some other bigger, like, console RPGs maybe, and actually make something really crazy? Like, almost, because I guess what I'm thinking of is something like how Monster Hunter Worlds has come out.
Yeah.
And it's the first one they've made in a while that hasn't been a handheld game. And it seems to be, in a lot of ways, like, it seems to be similar to those old games, but a departure in some significant ways that's made it, like, quite a different kind of beast. So, like, do you reckon they'd do something like that with Pokemon?
I'm not sure. I mean, me personally, I've been calling for, like, a sort of remake of the older games for so long. Like, I want them to have a remastered version of Pokemon Yellow or Pokemon Red, all of the old ones. But I mean, we've seen them do it with Gold and Silver, with Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And I've been wanting them
Fire
to...
Red and Leaf Green, wasn't there?
Yeah, but I mean, that again, that was... When was that? That was quite a long time ago, and that was for the DS, wasn't it? Oh, no, not Game Boy Advance, yeah, sorry. It was for the Advance, and, we've come so far since then. And I don't know. I feel like no matter what they do, I think they'll nail it. I'm hoping they go back to having the sort of gym system. But I don't know.
Loads of gyms.
I don't know. But maybe they'll call it something like Pokemon World, where it's just a planet of Pokemon.
Oh, mate, the Poke Planet.
Yeah, that would be awesome, because you've got all of these different regions which are meant to be situated on the same planet. So, I don't know.
So with the latest Pokemons, is it still like a top-down kind of thing, but 3D now?
Yeah, they're coming in at that sort of like, yeah, that sort of, I don't know what kind of camera to call it, but it's not over the top in like the sort of traditional sense of the old Pokemon games, but they're sort of slowly bringing it further and further and down, like about 45-degree camera where you can actually see behind your character and whatever.
It's still not fully like a third person.
No, I don't think so. I wouldn't call
it's getting closer, isn't it?
Maybe they'll have that kind of thing in a new Switch version.
Maybe they'll have like a Pokemon Labo sort of thing, which I think would be completely insane.
You have to build your Pokemon out of cardboard.
Does Labo have other licensed games, or is it just little games within Labo?
I think it's just little games within Labo.
Yeah.
That piano seems pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I mean, it does.
It does look awesome. Labo?
It comes out on 420.
420, yeah.
That's why
I love going on with Nintendo.
I love that. Like, when they announced it, there were people out being like, "Yeah, Microsoft and Sony. Look, we got 4K. Look at these polygons. Hardcore gamers unite." And Nintendo's going, "Why don't we build cardboard cutouts of 420?" Goes, yeah,
okay. Man.
Yeah, that fucking backpack seems pretty cool. With all the pulleys and shit in it.
All the gameplay systems they have with Labo is just wonderful.
Yeah, like the remote control car, or like the remote control like spider thing that moves using the vibration of controllers. It's just crazy.
HD Rumble.
Fuck HD Rumble.
It's actually useful.
It's just regular Rumble. I don't believe that it's useful. It's not.
But I mean, like, just bringing it back to like Pokemon Gold and Silver. Pokemon Gold and Silver sold 23.1 million copies.
That's quite a lot.
That's insane. And I mean, you look at like the recent gens. That was like the whole of that second generation. So what they're including as their second generation is Gold, Silver, Crystal, and then Heart Gold and Soul Silver as well. On top of that, that second generation is like the second highest selling generation in Pokemon's history.
What's the first?
The first generation, so the originals, so red, green, blue, yellow, and all of the rehashes of that.
Wow. So, do they actually linearly decrease in sales as they go on?
Well, the sixth generation, X and Y, was a bit shit for them. But then again, there was only really 2 games that were released in that generation. And then they've picked up a bit since then, like the 7th generation. I mean, it's all around, apart from the first 3, after that, it's all around the 20-25 million mark, which is still an insane amount of game copies to be selling.
Yeah, that's a really, really huge amount. That's pretty shocking.
What's the normal number? What's the normal number for a game to sell? A few million? Not over 10.
Yeah, I think a few million is probably like you're doing well.
Yeah.
20 million is you've done incredibly well.
Really, really well.
Pokemon Red, Green, or Blue sold 31.38 million.
Hey, people like Pokemon.
And that was in 1996.
That's why they keep making Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. It sells.
Problem solved. Next episode.
There we go.
Interesting fact as well, the Pokemon trading card game has also sold over 23.6 billion cards. Man.
All those trees.
It's the second best-selling trading card game after Yu-Gi-Oh!
Really?
Wow.
According to this Wikipedia page that I'm looking at, yeah.
Where does Magic the Gathering fall on that?
I have no idea.
That's like pretty niche. Come on, compared to Pokemon. And
But Magic the Gathering has been doing business solidly for like 35 years.
Yeah.
Because the cards are expensive as well.
This is true.
But I mean, did you guys play much of the card game when it got released over here? Because I know that it was pretty big over in Japan.
I had a bunch of cards, but I never once played it. I even think those cards, somewhere in this room, a fat wodge of Pokemon cards held together with an elastic band.
We had a lot as well. Well, when that was popular, I was still back in Burma, and I don't think we played it by its actual rules. We didn't even know that there were rules.
Pictures.
Yeah, we just had the cards in our hands, and we flipped them, like, out of our hands. And if they fell, like, face down, we take them, like, even if it's your friend's cards. That's how we played. Like, there were big stakes involved.
Mate, yeah, it's hardcore as fuck.
You're playing like pink slip Pokemon.
Yeah. Like, seriously, that was it. There were fights involved because, people wouldn't want to lose them.
Oh, man.
That's like Pokemon cards, but with Pog rules.
Yeah, that was
What? Like
Doesn't sound fun, sure. It sounds like gambling.
it was, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I'm probably the same as you, Mark. I've got a bunch of cards. I've never really sat down and played it. I don't really I'm not a fan of having to, like again, with like Magic the Gathering, you have your like mana cards or whatever that you need to play a card. And with Pokemon, you have, in order to attack, you have to use your energy cards. I'm not a big fan. I just want to play a Pokemon and just kill the other Pokemon. Especially like when they limit it so you can only play like one a turn, and it's like, well, this is just a bit shit. I have to wait forever to get my awesome Pokemon to do anything useful.
Hey, you want like fucking street mode Pokemon? Where you I'm just actually just gonna have a fight with someone.
Street Pokemon, I like it.
Yeah, I can't believe that Yu-Gi-Oh is the best-selling card game of all time.
I don't know. I'll have to double check that.
It's
but
madness. It's absolute madness. I watched a bunch of the Yu-Gi-Oh anime a few months ago.
Yeah.
I watched the first 10 episodes. What do you reckon I'm going to say about the Yu-Gi-Oh anime?
Fucking insane.
It's really bad.
Okay.
Like the original Yu-Gi-Oh is like back in its day. You're watching it as like a little kid. And you're like, oh my god, this is awesome. Now you look back on it and you're like, man, what?
Yeah, you are like, man, what? Because it's so terrible.
So did the Pokemon anime hold up better than...
Pokemon anime still holds up.
Yeah.
Pokemon anime legitimately still incredible. I regularly rewatch the first season also.
Right.
It's still really fucking good.
How about Digimon? Do they have cards?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
I think so. I don't know. I don't know.
He's in Asia, I think. Yeah, Digimon. They had an anime, yeah.
They had an anime.
Yeah.
Digimon TCG.
Digimon Digital Monsters.
That is what it stands for.
Yeah, that is how. Well, you didn't know what Pokemon stood for.
Yeah, alright, okay.
Dickhead.
They only had it for the first two games, so...
And only the Japanese versions as well.
Yeah.
So, that is fair. But also, come on.
Just never made the connection.
There is a
I think
there is a subreddit called r/Digimon TCG.
shit, man. I think the reason that they had to change it from Pocket Monsters to Pokemon was because in the West, there existed at the time that was coming out a game called Monsters in My Pocket, I think. Like an actual physical game.
Monsters in My Pocket.
Yeah, a media franchise, Monsters in My Pocket. It's like you have little figures and shit. My brother had a bunch of monsters in his pocket. That's probably not how you say that.
Oh man, I'm watching some guy like go through his binder of Digimon cards.
Yeah?
They were.
What the hell?
Binders are good for that.
What the hell are these things? Oh my word. Anyway.
I stand by. Digimon probably sucks. Yu-Gi-Oh! Didn't hold up. I reckon Digimon also sucks.
Yeah. It kind of died. Like, this Wikipedia page doesn't have enough information.
There's 807 Pokemon in total.
No, there are 150 Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe 151.
But like, if you have a look like the total Pokemon in the 7th gen game, it says 807. But I mean, yeah, I'm 100% agreeing with you. In my mind, there's only going to ever be 150, 151, whether or not you actually count in Mewtwo.
Yeah. Oh man, I think one of my favourite facts about the Gen 2 games. So obviously in the Gen 2 games, you're in the Johto region.
Yeah.
And so when they were programming it, they were really struggling to fit the Johto region onto a Game Boy cartridge.
All right.
And so they got in Iwata, the Nintendo CEO who passed away last year, back when he was a programmer back then. And he programmed like a lot of different games. Like he programmed Kirby and loads of shit like that. And he came up with a compression algorithm that was so successful. Not only did they manage to fit Johto onto the Game Boy cartridges, but they could also fit Kanto on there as well. And that's why at the end of like Gen 2 games, you then go back to the Gen 1 region and you like move around that bit as well. Because they managed, like the compression algorithms that Iwata came up with were so good. They could fit both regions on there, which I think that's cool.
They should do that a lot more.
Yeah, the nostalgia trip of going back to Kanto at the end of the Gold Silver games is pretty huge. It's good. Oh, I don't know. We're at 33 minutes or so. 32 minutes. How are you feeling the time? I mean, I could chat about 90s anime bullshit ages. You want to talk about some like look, Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime is really bad. It's really, really terrible. Like, not only is the plot bad, but the dialogue is poor, the voice acting is poor.
KT doesn't seem to agree.
It's a shoddy sound.
Have you ever seen the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged?
Heard of it.
Isn't that like their version of Dragon Ball Kai?
No, Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged is some guy's piss take of what Yu-Gi-Oh! Is.
Oh, right.
So it's like a sort of mashup of Yu-Gi-Oh! Episodes, and he's dubbed himself like talking over it. And it's like it's the funniest thing in the world because he literally just takes the piss out of it so much. Like, yeah, it's great. I would thoroughly recommend.
Have the piss taken out of it.
Probably original Yu-Gi-Oh!
I would thoroughly recommend watching it because, yeah, I mean, I'll send you guys a link to it because I think it's all up on YouTube. I think the guy's got like a YouTube channel where he just keeps it all, and it's just mashup of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where he's just taking the piss out of all of these characters. But yeah, it's great.
What a hero! Oh, is it the guy who does Dragon Ball Z Abridged as well?
I don't know. I've seen the Dragon Ball Z Abridged series, but I don't know if it's by the same person.
Is it the same kind of premise? With
Yeah,
the original?
it is
Right.
essentially the same sort of
'Cause
style
Dragon
of
Ball
it,
Z
just
is,
taking a piss out of it.
It's a mess.
It is a mess. Do kind of love it though. Anime is pretty great. I don't know. We've discussed this in this show.
I've heard a lot of
It's pretty good.
I've heard a lot of good things about that Dragon Ball Z Fighters or Dragon Ball Fighters, however you want to say it.
Yeah, I don't. Is it Dragon Ball Fighters Z or is it Dragon Ball Fighters?
I don't know. Well, I mean, I've heard a
Fighters
good.
Z is probably that's
Yeah.
what they want to do.
I don't know. Yeah, I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It looks cool. It like just from like a graphical perspective, it looks legit.
It's a fighting game, but kind of is it open world? I feel like I've heard about open world, but maybe not. Maybe it's a big world.
I think it's like there are like between fights you can move around to other places.
Yeah.
I think you like choose who you want to fight next, but I don't think it's not like Dragon Ball The Witcher.
Well, that's an idea,
That would be awesome, though.
but you never finish the game because
It's just charging
it's
up.
charging up.
Okay. Well, on that bombshell, I don't know. Pokemon's pretty good. Children love it. Yu-Gi-Oh's bad.
Little boys love it.
Idiots like it. Digimon is taken before its time.
Yeah,
Rest in peace, Digimon.
maybe it'll come back.
Our brightest star burnt out before its very first dawn. I don't know. Are there any other ones?
The what?
Animes that had trading cards. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon.
I don't know.
Did Persona have anything? No. They
No.
had like headphones and stuff.
Yeah, the Persona anime is not for children. It's too
I
hardcore.
guess not. Yeah,
It's really good though.
I've heard.
Like Persona anime is great. That's my hot take for this episode is everyone should go and watch Persona 4 the animation. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
It was a good one.
Cheers.
Sure.
Cheers for joining us, Jack.
It's all right.
Sure. Thanks for sitting on my living room floor with me.
That's all right.
Okay. I'm gonna hit stop. Bye.
Bye bye.